So what we'll do is afterwards we'll go out and... Wait a second, there's Jonny Storm. Come on. Jonny Storm, what are you doing back in the country and what are you doing at FWA show?
No time. Over here, please, gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. Jonny Storm back in the FWA.
Jonny Storm, why are you here in the FWA? You know you lost a match. You lost a match to James Hyatt in a loser-leaves match and you went off to Thailand. What are you doing back outside the Broxbourne Civic Hall?
Broxbourne Civic... Oh, here we are! I thought this was... I'm sorry, I thought there was some tributes on tonight. Well, let me just say this. FWA had the audacity to get rid of Jonny Storm in Morecambe, wherever the hell that is, but no one cares about Morecambe. Everyone cares about Jonny Storm, don't we? Jonny! Now, what I have in my hand here, as I was just explaining to these fine people of Broxbourne with two teeth, we have Thailand special paper, imported, nothing but the best. It cost me £2,000 at security, immigration, so bear that in mind. We have such luminaries as, not Jonny Storm, Pattaya Phil Austin, one of the best, the most well-known Jay Brony in the FWA. We have John Copping Promotions, he has a haircut like no other. Brian Manelli, Ross the Boss Gordon, and of course Mad Eli. Giant Haystack signed it earlier tonight. Now, FWA. This is what it's all about, baby. I'm coming back, and I'm coming for each and every one of you, because the Wonder World people, the Wonder Kids in this place want to see it, and there's nothing Alex Shane or any of you FWAs can do about it. Peace out, B-Rabbits!
Well, Jonny Storm back in the FWA.
Tomorrow driver! That's not who I think it is. That's Steve Corino.
What's Steve Corino?
Steve Corino.
Raise the day.
So let's not waste the time. Alex Shane.
Myself if we rewind.
I came into your house, and all these people are going to witness Steve Corino kick your ass.
Here we go, Nick. This is it.
Steve Corino is the only way I'll ever play you. There was money in for me. And unfortunately for you, hey, it's never going to happen. There's nothing you, nothing anyone in the FWA can do about things.
But I will stay.
Oh, 1 minute, Alex. You promised me and each and every one of these fans here tonight a world title match. You took me to one side and you said, no, we can't give the fans what they want every time. That constitutes false advertising in my eyes. You've got two options. Option one, all these fans go and sue your ass for every penny you've got. Or there's option two, you can give them the world title shot. Me against, say, Steve Corino. Alright, Williams. You've got it tonight to be Steve Corino. Let's get this clear. It's an FWA world title match. It's Doug Williams versus Steve Corino. And there's two things you can do about it. There's nothing and
But I will stand, holding on, surrender myself to one. But I will stand, holding on, surrender myself.
time's running out for Alex Shane.
Mark my words, Steve Corino, if you're watching this, you will never, and I mean ever, come back to the FWA as long as I have control.
you're nothing but evil and you're nothing but bad. Alex Shane, I'm gonna stare at you right in the eye and I'm gonna take you down. Give me the match I want, cause Steve Corino's coming for you!
Fans, as the road to British Uprising 3 comes to an end, welcome to this, the season finale of FWA TV. As always, I'm your host, John Atkins, and today we have got a packed 60 minutes of action for you, with a main event that has been 18 months in the making. That's right, tonight the king of old school, Steve Corino, returns to the FWA to take on his arch nemesis, the show stealer, Alex Shane. But first, the matchup that last week we thought was going to see Mark 5-star Belton take on classic Colt Cabana. However, moments before that show was due to start, FWA officials received a call from Belton, stranded at a service station on the M6, claiming that his tyres had been slashed. FWA officials were struggling to find a replacement for Belton, however in the end had to accept an offer of help from the man that Belton claimed was responsible for this case of vehicular sabotage.
And there's my co-colleague Tony Giles, and he's handing the ring announcer a message of some sort. Well, Tony's on his way back now, so hopefully I'll get a few answers.
In a match where the opponent has been allowed to compete only on the condition that the match is not sanctioned by the FWA, it means that neither wrestler is insured under FWA rules, and the opponent will not be paid for tonight's match. Cabana's opponent is... the Wonder Kid, Jonny!
And Tony Giles has just joined me back into the commentary booth. Tony, have you heard it's wonderful news? Jonny Storm is back!
That's right, Nick. Jonny Storm is back in a match for the FWA, although this is a non-sanctioned match. I do apologise for my lateness of coming back to the commentary booth, but after the questionable actions of FWA Managing Director Alex Shane, I had to have a few words with the FWA governing body, and they gave me the envelope to go out and give to ring announcer John Atkins to announce who was going to be in this match, and it is Jonny Storm back in the FWA, set to face Colt Cabana.
Now, I'm sure you're all wondering what is on this pad of paper that he's brought out. It's the Wonder World Tour. What's happening is Jonny Storm is going around collecting signatures from his worldwide fan base in an attempt to convince the FWA that it's right for the business for him to be allowed back in.
He's been collecting his signatures outside the building, collecting his signatures on the Bagpipe Report on the Wrestling Channel. Whether we see Jonny Storm back in the FWA on a full-time basis, Nick, remains to be seen.
Well, obviously Cabana now at a huge disadvantage. He was not expecting to face the Wonder Kid, Jonny Storm.
That's right, Colt Cabana has had no time to prepare for this match with Jonny. He set himself up to face Mark Belton. It was going to be 5-star Mark Belton's first match against an import in the FWA, but as it stands, he's somewhere stuck on the M6, and Jonny Storm's now facing Colt Cabana.
See, the thing is, I am really feeling for Belton here. I mean, I was really hoping that after his successive series of victories over Aviv Mayan, that he'd be able to climb the ladder. And you know what? A match against Colt Cabana was a really good start. And I want to see Belton be successful in this company. And now there is a very strong likelihood that Jonny Storm has just cut off the career of one young gun to basically sustain himself.
That could be true, Nick, as we see Colt Cabana now. Colt Cabana slides outside the ring, and it looks as though Colt Cabana is going to sign Johnny Storm's petition. Perhaps Cabana wants to see Johnny Storm back in the FWA.
Well, the thing is, I know Cabana likes to come out here and have his fun and his games. It's a way he uses. It's sort of a mind trick to his opponents will underestimate him. But yes, he has indeed signed it, Tony.
Well, I mean, if Johnny Storm got himself into this match using underhand tactics, Nick, let's be fair, it's not as if Mark Belton is as white as snow either. Mark Belton has used some sly tactics in the past himself. Let's not forget how he continued to beat up Aviv Mayen after making him submit a few weeks ago.
That's not sly, that's just being mean. But I know what you're getting at, Tony. I know what you're getting at Mark Belton, but
one thing is for sure, when Belton finds out about this, he is not going to be a happy man. This was his chance, this was his stepping stone. And at the moment, he's on a motorway and Johnny Storm's in the ring.
Yeah, but motorway stations are great, aren't they? I don't think so. Johnny Storm, let's for argument's sake, let's say that Johnny Storm did slash his tyres. Alright, Johnny Storm has left the poor Mark Belton stranded in the middle of nowhere. He's stranded him, Tony. And now it's Johnny Storm who gets the big American match. You've got to believe that Belton wanted this match because he wants a momentum and possibly get a match of British Uprising 3. And now Johnny Storm has cost him that.
We saw Johnny Storm there just having words with referee Richard Young. Maybe Johnny Storm isn't happy with the way Cabana's going about this match, because this is what Johnny Storm would normally do, try and intimidate, trying to out-psych his opponents. And let's face it, Johnny Storm's never really faced anyone like Colt Cabana before. So at the moment, he's a little bit dazed and confused.
Sorry to backtrack a bit. What's the name of the referee?
Richard Young.
I've been calling him Peter this whole time. Anyway, back to the contest, and now both men are trying so hard to get the advantage, but they're still feeling each other out.
It looks as though at the moment they're just having a game of slapsies, Nick. I'm sure.
Is that a technical term?
That's definitely a technical term. I'm sure the match will begin any moment now. I don't know who's trying to get the psychological edge here. It would appear that Johnny Storm was trying to, but Colt Cabana with a big overhand slap just gets one on Johnny Storm's head.
Play serious.
Play serious. One, two, oh!
Johnny Storm with a fake goes for the Hurricane Rana, but no!
You're such a tease, Johnny Storm. And look at that now with a top rope wrist lock. Lou Thez would be spitting in his grave. Johnny Storm now, after that devastating top rope wrist lock, he's now working all over Colt Cabana.
Johnny Storm, I don't think Johnny Storm should really be trying to bring the power game to Colt Cabana, Nick, because as anyone could see, Colt Cabana obviously the bigger of the two men. Colt Cabana now rushes in, but Johnny Storm gets the boot up. Johnny Storm perches himself on the top rope, goes for the axe handle, but Colt Cabana blocks it. Double slap, and Colt Cabana gets him rolled up, but Johnny reverses, and Colt reverses.
Oh, they're fighting
Johnny
for
reverses.
it. Who's going to get
Colt reverses, and
Johnny reverses, and Colt reverses, and the referee's rolling around like some pregnant hamster. What is going on? Well, did either man even get a pinfall attempt there, Tony?
I don't know, Nick, but I know one thing. I'm dizzy, and it would appear that everyone else is dizzy. The referee's down, Cabana's down, Storm's down, and the fans are on their feet.
Well, referee Richard Young has finally got to his feet. He's got a little bit of air to him, and he's going to count both men down.
If we get a no-standing 10 count, Nick, this match will be ruled a draw with no decisive winner being named.
Stop giggling, Tony. Look, this is a joke. This is a joke. And when I mean joke, I don't mean a funny one either. Alright, this is cringe-worthingly terrible. Oh, the counter's up, and he just made it a little more serious.
Cabana up, two uppercut blows there to Johnny Storm, goes in now with some forearm blows. Johnny Storm dazed and confused.
A little bit of a dance, winds up, and oh! Nice haymaker there.
Referee may want to check those blows to make sure they were open-handed. Colt Cabana springboard.
Whoa!
Moonsault.
The big boy can fly.
In for the pin, but only gets a 2 count.
Well, Cabana picks up Storm. Looks like he might be going for another maneuver. Oh, he's signaling for something. Could we be... What is he going for? Whoa!
We had him held up there for a stalling suplex, but Jonny still managed to get out of it. Jonny!
Oh, that'll hurt. Oh, 1, 2, kick out.
Driving the double knees into the back of Colt Cabana, only managing to get a 2 count, but a very, very effective maneuver as Colt Cabana backs himself into the corner, trying to get a breather. Jonny Storm runs in, but meets the back elbow of Colt Cabana.
Well, Cabana's now going to try and go up top. Be interesting to see where he goes with this. Oh, look at that. Nice double underhook chicken wing submission there, applied from the front.
A rolling DDT into the double arm chicken wing submission there. Nicely done from Colt Cabana. We've seen that move from Colt Cabana before. He's got it nice and tight on Jonny Storm. If he could get him into the centre of the rope...
Whoa, this could lead to the Colt 45, but Jonny is fighting it. Oh, here we go. Wait, no, Jonny still fighting it. Oh, but a nice sit-out instead.
Double arm sit-out from Colt Cabana, only managing to get a 2 count. Maybe if Colt Cabana hits that double arm chicken win again, Nick, inside the centre of the ring, we could see a submission victory here for Colt Cabana.
Well, Cabana straight back to his feet again. Cabana now climbing up top, taking a page from Jonny Storm's book, misses the drop kick. Jonny Storm, golden opportunity now. Wheelbarrow, DDT,
and he hits a beauty. Colt Cabana face first down. 1, 2, oh, 2.5, Nick, 2.5 for Jonny Storm.
That was very close, but you saw the momentum just rapidly shift round there. Jonny was able to hit that wheelbarrow into the DDT. Delicious. Oh, it looks like he's going for a victory roll position. Reverse Hurricanrana, no, it was blocked. Onto his feet, Cabana now, Cabana. Whoa, now that was tasty. What was that, Tony?
It was a full Nelson into a leg drop, Nick, something I have seen from Colt Cabana before, but still only managing to get that 2 count. As you mentioned before, Nick, maybe it's time for Colt Cabana to bring out that Colt 45.
Well, don't forget, Jonny Storm still has the Wonder Wheel, but will he ever get an opportunity to use it? Oh, wait, he's going for it. Just as I was talking about it.
Colt Cabana fighting out of the Wonder Wheel, but Jonny Storm gets it. He hits it. Jonny Storm hits the Wonder Wheel on Colt Cabana.
He didn't quite get it all, but he might have got enough for the victory, Tony.
Both men are down at the moment, both men are down at the moment, Nick. This match has taken quite a lot out of both of these men. It's been going on for around 20 minutes now. It's been quite a fast-paced match. And Colt Cabana getting an arm up. It's, as you said, Nick, Jonny Storm didn't quite get all of the Wonderwell. But if maybe he can hit it again, it could spell the end for Colt Cabana.
You're saying, Tony, I was right, that he didn't get all of the Wonderwell?
Yes.
Well, I want you to say, Nick, you were right.
You were right, Nick. Jonny Storm didn't get all of the Wonderwell, but if he can hit it again, it could be all over.
It's nice to know that you will actually admit the truth just once in a while. Makes me feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside. But back to the contest, Tony. Stop going off on a tangent. Oh, sunset flip to the inside, and Jonny's holding on for dear life. Now Richard Young was not taking any crap. Now the two wrestlers are exchanging pinfall attempts here. No, Jonny Storm, you sly little swine!
That's the reason why Jonny Storm shouldn't be allowed back in the FWA, because he always cheats to win.
Take a chill, Bill. Jonny Storm has just had a nice demonstration on why he wants to be back in the FWA. But should he be allowed, Tony?
It really is beautiful. You know, I look at this and I get this warm, fuzzy feeling inside. You're probably thinking I'm referring to the FWA British Heavyweight title, but I'm not. I'm referring to this. Doug Williams' blood on the heavyweight belt. You see, Doug Williams, people have been coming up to me, left, right and centre, calling me on the phone, emailing me all day long and saying, Alex, I've never seen Doug Williams, the greatest technical wrestler in British history, bleed. You're the first man to have done it. Well, the fact is, I've seen Doug bleed. A lot of people don't realise is myself and Doug Williams started on the same day at the same wrestling school, almost 11 years ago. You see, me and Doug have been through a lot together. We bled, we sweat, we shed tears, but we always went in different directions and stayed out of each other's business. Doug's direction was to go over to Ring of Honor and Japan and, you know, represent England and become a big celebrity, and a lot of people see him as a British wrestling god. I see him as a selfish piece of shit. You see, while he was pursuing his own career, I was here in England making British wrestling big. And every time we got on national radio or national TV, who was the man that got pushed to the forefront of those deals? It was the anarchist Doug Williams. So when Doug Williams got in my face and got in my business, that was a little bit more personal than when others have tried and failed to do it in the past. You see, Doug Williams, the fact is this. How ironic is it that when it finally comes down to me v you, your blood is all over this belt. It will be all over my hands, it will be all over the canvas, because this isn't just about a belt. This is about two men that have gone in totally separate paths. But for some strange reason, those paths have now met, and the confrontation seems imminent. Well, you know what, Doug? I want you to get one last look at this belt before we meet in that match. Because the fact is, Doug, that symbolises exactly what is going to happen when me and you face each other. You see, Doug, I've waited a long time. I've waited a long time to settle the rumours, to stop the gossip. Who's better, the entertainer or the wrestler? Well, you know what? We're going to find out what I've known all along. Doug, if you think you're walking away with the British heavyweight title when we face each other, it's obvious to me you need a check-up from the neck up. Doug, me v you will be the match that changes British wrestling and the course of the FWA. And when it's all over, there'll be two things you can do about it. That's nothing and like it.
Fans, time now for this week's main event. 2 weeks ago, we saw Steve Corino get his hands on Shane's protege, Hayde Vanson, and beat him for the 1-2-3. This week, after 18 months of trying, Corino finally gets to face the show stealer himself, Alex Shane, in the main event. Over again to our commentators Nick London and Tony Giles.
It is now time for tonight's main event. Introducing first.
Steal this gold in 5 seconds. Steal this gold in 4 seconds. Steal this gold in 3 seconds. Steal this gold in 2 seconds. Steal this gold.
Making his way to the ring, the show stealer, Alex Shane.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex Shane. Now, I'd love to say he was the managing director of the FWA, but apparently, after the incident involving Alex Shane and British boxing's own Danny Williams, he has recently been fired as the FWA managing director. And this is something which has not gone down well with myself or the show stealer or many of his associates in the back. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, Tony, why Alex Shane was coming down to the ring with the FWA heavyweight title. The fact of the matter is that even though Alex Shane is no longer the FWA managing director, he believes he should be. He took that FWA belt off of Doug the Anarchist Williams. He smeared his blood all across it. And at British Uprising 3, he will get to take on Doug Williams to officially become the FWA heavyweight champion.
Let's even get started. I want the FWA Commissioner, Flash Barker, out here right now.
The show stealer demanding that the commissioner, Flash Barker, come to ringside, and well, here he comes. Why Alex Shane would be demanding this, Nick, I have no idea.
Far be it from me to hold the FWA over a barrel. Shut up! Over a barrel. But this match will not take place unless I get one stipulation met. I want this match, just like these people do, to be a no DQ contest.
Wow,
That's
show stealer.
incredibly smart, Tony.
You want to know this qualification match? Is that right? That's exactly what I want. This match ain't happening, son. So if I give you this match, you will promise me that you would give me any of your usual crap and try to swerve your way out of this match. Mate, it's a verbal contract. All these people are
witnessed it. You give me that match, I'll stay here and do it.
Yeah, that's right, because it is a verbal contract. And all these people here are witnessing. So yeah, you've got no disqualification match.
The FWA Commissioner making this match, Steve Corino, Alex Shane, no DQ.
And your security are banned from wrestling.
No! He can't do this, Tony! This is going to leave the show stealer wide open to attacks from all the enemies he's made in the last year.
The Commissioner, Flash Barker, has agreed to Alex Shane's demands. A no DQ match, but no entourage, no security, no Paid Vanson. This is fantastic. We're going to see a one-on-one contest. The show stealer Alex Shane against Steve Corino.
Yeah, I can hear the fans, and you're right. The security detail, Paid Vanson, they're all going to have to go. But think of all the men who've got a vendetta with Alex Shane, Jack Xavier, Lee Mayan, Ross Jordan. But let's not forget Steve Corino. He's going to be able to get in there and do whatever the heck he wants in a no DQ environment.
It's the match Alex Shane requested. Alex Shane obviously
Yes, but it should have been a legal mugging. Alex Shane security detail
He requested that match because he thought with my guys on the outside, there's no way in the world Steve Corino is leaving Broxbourne the way he walked in. But unfortunately for the show stealer, the FWA Commissioner Flash Barker has done the right thing. He gave Alex what he wanted, but he made one small stipulation. You guys have got to go. And Nick, easily the most anticipated match in FWA history. The show stealer Alex Shane, the former managing director, taking on the one and only Steve Corino.
Well, obviously the fans standing in attendance here for Steve Corino. They have been looking forward to this contest. Alex Shane said, though, at the beginning of the competitive year, he would only ever get into this contest if it was financial for himself and financially successful for the FWA. But now, Alex Shane's been fired of his post as FWA Managing Director, and Flash Barker has sickeningly tricked him into a one-on-one contest with the former ECW and NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
The fans, obviously, as I am, firmly behind Steve Corino and want to see Steve Corino tear the show stealer apart.
Meanwhile, myself am behind that man, the show stealer Alex Shane, and I want to see Alex Shane tear Steve Corino limb from limb and hit the one-night stand and take it home and finally put this ghost to rest. This ghost has been crawling on the back of Alex Shane for the last few years, ever since Steve Corino's show refused to turn up at FWA Frontiers of Honor.
We see a determined look in Alex Shane's eyes. I mean, Alex Shane, even though I may not be his biggest fan, you have to respect what he's gone through to get to this match with Steve Corino. Alex Shane seems more determined in this match than I've ever seen him before.
You can cut the anticipation with a knife. The atmosphere is just building.
Learn British professional wrestling at the FWA Academy in Portsmouth. Open 7 days a week, our fully insured centre houses 2 full-sized wrestling rings, a luxury matted area and an expansive weight section. As well as weekend and week-long camps, we have 3 full-time instructors and have frequent superstar guest trainers. Many of our students have progressed onto the FWA TV show.
The FWA Wrestling Academy. They prove what I prove throughout the whole world, and that it is not the size of the fighter, but the size of the fight he will bring. For anyone who comes to the FWA Wrestling Academy, all you can do is be ready.
The bride
go!
As we go now, both men trading forearms. Alex Shane, Steve Corino firing back, and firing back. Steve Corino getting the advantage, and Corino is wasting no time, going straight away for Alex Shane, but Alex Shane as well wasting no time either. Both men are just out for blood.
Double leg takedown there, and we both know, Tony, this wasn't going to be a technical showcase. Corino, he was going for that kick, and Alex Shane strategically got to the outside of the ring.
Strategically got to the outside. Nick,
yeah, it was strategic.
He's trying to escape. That's what it looks like.
Look,
he wants no part of Steve Corino.
Tony Giles, you've got two options. Get kicked in the face or roll to the outside. Now listen, I know you like being ugly, but I wouldn't want to be kicked in the face, I'll have you know.
Steve Corino is having none of Alex Shane, bringing him back to the ring, throwing him back in, and Steve Corino is firing up. He's here with a purpose, to take Alex Shane out.
Well, there you go now, Alex Shane with a kick to the face there of Corino, and that trademark back lariat. Oh, here we go. Greetings, Finsbury Park.
Alex Shane hits the green from Finsbury Park, neck breaker. One of his biggest moves in his arsenal, Nick, and now picks up Corino.
He is in
to the
control.
outside.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Corino is shaking off the effects of the greetings from Finsbury Park. There is too much to play for here, and Alex Shane looks disturbed at the fact that Corino is up and ready to fight straight away.
Alex Shane now very frustrated. I mean, he hit that the full Nelson into neck breaker, the greens from Finsbury Park, and Corino just shook the effects off. And Corino is waiting. He looks patient, but inside he is boiling with rage. Alex Shane, the fans are getting underneath his skin.
See, in a match like this, Nick, where there is so much hatred from the fans, this has to play into the mind of Alex Shane. Going into this match, you've got all these people here in the Broxbourne Civic Hall, and they are baying for your blood. It has to have an effect.
Well, Alex Shane is obviously attracting a lot of hate from the fans here tonight. And Alex Shane has got so much to be thinking about. But more importantly, he's got to keep his mind on Corino. And he's obviously doing it. Whips Corino into the collar, follows through, misses the lariat. And now Corino's obviously been doing his work, and he was able to escape the move from Alex Shane.
Definitely, we've seen that move from Alex Shane countless times on Aviv Maya and Ross Jordan. Steve Corino's obviously been watching the tapes the FWA have sent him so he can prepare for this match, so he knows what to do when he's in the ring with Alex Shane, as Corino now is firing himself up as he goes from one side, Yakuza kick into the face of Alex Shane.
Like a Duracell bunny, he charged himself up in the corner and then just let rip with a Yakuza kick. Well, Corino's most definitely in charge here, Tony, and he's signaling for something.
As he sets him up, gets Alex Shane up and over in a suplex. Now Alex Shane, easily the biggest man in the FWA, Nick. That is something you do not see on a regular basis.
Well, it's not very often that you see a man able to power over Alex Shane, but Alex Shane crotches Corino.
Alex Shane now goes for the Shane Station, but Steve Corino ducked it, Nick. Steve Corino ducked the Shane Station, another one of the trademark moves of Alex Shane.
Corino's obviously been doing his homework, as we said, and there's the second example from this match, and it was Alex Shane's own momentum that sent him tumbling to the outside, and he is in trouble.
This is obviously a very important match for Alex Shane, Nick, but it would appear to me that it's an even more important match for Steve Corino. Everything that was said, all the negativity that came from Alex Shane, Steve Corino has had enough and is now taking it out on Alex Shane.
Think of all the future generations of little show stealers. Alex Shane is going to be debuted.
Alex Shane gets his bell rung, literally, from Steve Corino.
If I remember correctly, you used that line once before at Frontiers of Honor. I wish you wouldn't regurgitate your crud. Corino now is moving furniture out there, and Alex Shane there was watching his own. Corino though.
Alex Shane managed to block the first blow, but Steve Corino catches him and sends him headfirst into the guardrail. Referee Andy Gordon trying to plead with the wrestlers to get back into ringside, but this is far too personal, Nick, to be contained inside a ring. If it's going to go all over Broxbourne, it will, as Steve Corino now is sending Alex Shane up into the top of the bleachers.
Well, he's obviously bringing the fight here, and Steve Corino is no stranger to warring on the outside of the ring. Obviously, Corino's going back to his roots, and this is nothing but the beginning of the end for the show stealer.
Steve Corino adopting a more hardcore, old-school kind of role in this match at the moment, taking Alex Shane from one side of the building. It looks like he's dragging him all the way over to the other.
Why couldn't he have just gone NWA style and just relied on a few hammerlocks or something? Oh! Shane is being beaten black and blue.
Alex Shane's in head first into that brick wall in the Broxbourne Civic Hall. Steve Corino with a boot to the head there of Alex Shane.
Alex Shane desperately requires Steve Corino to have a blonde moment so he can actually capitalise on this. But I just don't see it happening. Corino just so focused and so pissed.
Steve Corino, Nick. I've seen Steve Corino fight all over the world, and I have never seen him quite this driven before.
Oh, there, a low blow from Alex Shane, and now he's setting up for a pile driver. Usually they are illegal.
This is an illegal move in the FWA, but as we know, FWA Commissioner Flash Barker has deemed this match a no DQ match. Steve Corino is trying to fight out of it. It'll be a pile driver, Nick, on the stage area. He's got him up. Surely, come on, Corino, you can do it. Fight out of this move. Fight out of it. Alex Shane gets him. No!
Alex Shane got the pile driver, and that was the one move that he needed to turn this contest around.
Alex Shane has just pile driven Steve Corino on the stage area right in front of the FWA fans. I cannot believe this thing. Surely the tide has turned now in the face of the show stealer.
In the crowd of humanity, Alex Shane has swung this contest around, and he's going to celebrate by eating the forehead of Steve Corino, and now the blood will run forth.
Steve Corino has been busted wide open from that pile driver on the stage as Alex Shane now sends Steve Corino crashing into the chairs on the staging area. And now Alex Shane sends Steve Corino back into the ring. Alex Shane firmly in the driver's seat at the moment, raining down those blows on Steve Corino's already bleeding forehead.
Alex Shane whips out, and he connects with a lariat that time in the corner. And now the trademark choke in the corner, choking the very soul out of Corino.
Alex Shane now setting up Steve Corino. He goes in one of his signature moves as well. We've seen him use the abdominal stretch before countless times in the FWA, and this time using the ring ropes for leverage, and there's nothing the referee can do about it, Nick. Alex Shane has all the power as it stands in the ring at the moment.
No, pulling on the ropes is as legal as a wrist lock, Tony. You've seen how Shane used this before. You said this will just sap the strength out of your entire body. But Corino was not going to be denied on that hip toss escape.
Steve Corino managed to hip toss his way out of that move, but Alex Shane is quickly getting to his feet. Steve Corino is still down on the mat, but Alex Shane is slowly, but he's up now, Nick. Steve Corino is still down, and Alex Shane goes with a clothesline, takes Steve Corino down.
That was a lovely clothesline there from Alex Shane. He wiped his hands of Corino, saying it is time for this to be done off the ropes. One night stand time.
He's got him set up, but Steve Corino fights out of it, goes with the STO heel trip, takes him down. Both men are down at the moment as the referee goes in with a 10 count.
Is this how this war is going to end? Is this how it's going to end with both men counted down? Corino with a cover. Oh!
Oh, so close, Nick. A 2.5 there as Steve Corino draped his lifeless arm over, but both men slowly making their way to their feet. Alex Shane up, but Steve Corino firing with those forearms, and Alex Shane is answering them right back.
Steve Corino, those years of experience all over the world makes him so resilient, but Alex Shane is so determined, so arrogant almost. He does not want to be beaten, but when you get kicked in the back of the head, your chances drop like a brick out of a window.
Standing Enziguri from Steve Corino goes in for the 3 count, but only managing to get the 2.
He's signaling it for it, Tony.
He's signaling, he could be winding up, he could be setting himself up for that lariat. We've seen him use it before. Alex Shane goes, boots Steve Corino's lariat arm, and then boots Steve Corino himself, taking Corino down to the mat. Alex Shane up, dusts himself off once again. Alex Shane could be signaling for the end, Nick.
He's going for the one-night stand. If he hits it, it's over.
Alex Shane has hit the one-night stand.
1, 2, and it's over.
Yes, Corino will not give up. Corino will not give in. Corino is kicked out of the one-night stand.
Alex Shane proverbially took a litter of kittens, put them in a sack, and was ready to drown them. But the little swines were able to scratch out, and now this contest continues. Whoa!
No, he was going for the checkup for the neck up, but Corino reversed it. He's got the buffalo hold, Nick. He's got the buffalo hold on. Alex Shane backing Corino into the corner. But again, Corino goes in with the buffalo hold.
Steve Corino made FWA champion Doug Williams tap out with this maneuver. Is this going to be the end of the contest? Alex Shane there. Oh, I thought he's fading, but the referee is down. Was that on purpose by the show stealer? Injure the referee so that you can't be notified of being tapped out.
Nick, it was quite obvious Alex Shane was at the end of his rope. He was getting ready to tap for the buffalo hold. Maybe by going dead weight, he's effectively taken the referee out, so it gives him a little bit of a breather, a little bit more time in this match. But Corino again with the buffalo hold. Again with the buffalo hold. Alex Shane's tapping. Alex Shane is tapping.
With no referee, this is now allowing one of the members of his security detail to come out, and Corino throws him out. There's Sticks. He gets a punch from Corino.
We see Sticks to see the security detail going for Alex Shane, but Corino once again in with a buffalo hold. And there's Ross Jordan. Ross Jordan on the outside, and Jack Xavier as well. Jack Xavier and Ross Jordan taking care of Alex Shane's security detail as Steve Corino is in the center of the ring. The buffalo hold firmly applied. Get me a referee out here right now.
Oh, calm down, you overhyping swine. Oh, but there's Linsky. Steve Linsky. Don't do it, Linsky.
Referee Steve Linsky in the ring as Alex Shane dangerously close to the ropes. And Steve Corino. Alex Shane has got hold of the bottom rope. Steve Corino is going to have to break that hold. But if he can get it on one more time, it's going to be all over as we see Steve Corino eyeballing Linsky. Remember, this is the referee that screwed him before. He will not be denied again.
Well, Steve Corino setting up for the lariat. Oh, but he hits Linsky himself.
He hits Linsky. Alex Shane pulled the referee in front of him so he didn't get lariated himself. Steve,
hang on a second. Tell you one thing, Corino did that on purpose. Corino hates Linsky, and he just smacked him as hard as he could. And Alex Shane is going to make him pay for that distraction.
Corino taking out the second referee in this match. Alex Shane with a low blow. As now Alex Shane looks like he's going for a second pole driver. If he can hit it, it could be all over. But Steve Corino says no. Back body drop. Alex Shane down, and Corino is willing it now.
It's the beginning of the end,
It is the beginning of the end as the arm back comes off. Lariat, he's done it.
Kick out. Kick out.
No. Alex Shane has kicked out of the lariat.
Alex Shane's ego is so huge, he will not allow himself to be pinned by a mere American. And that's the human breeze block, Martin Stone, to help Alex Shane. But the referee
Richard Young tied up with them, and there comes a Beef Man. Beef Man is here to take care of Martin Stone on the outside.
The Red Dragon has come out to cut off Stone.
We've seen Steve Corino come to the aid of Aviv Mayan before. Steve Corino will not be done, but here's the All England champion. Super kick takes out Steve Corino. Don't let it be so. Do not let it end this way.
The South
Here comes Flash Barker. It's the FWA commissioner.
Unconventional.
Go Flash. Go Flash. Take him out. Get rid of Hayde Benson. Get rid of Benson. And here comes down. Williams is out. It's about to be settled. Corino sets himself up off the ropes. Lariat!
Marriage of Justice, Tony!
Referee!
No, 1, 2, 3! Oh, good! No, bloody! Oh! Doug Williams, where did he come from? Tony, how can you condone this? This is a miscarriage of justice!
Steve Corino is leaving Broxbourne the winner. Alex Shane, reign of terror in the FWA is all but over.
Oh! Back off, mister! Let's get something straight. British Uprising 3. Alex Shane is going to take the FWA Heavyweight Championship from Doug the Anarchist Williams. Doug's just stepped up the ante, but I assure you, Alex Shane will get the last laugh.
It's going to be British Uprising 3 at the Coventry Skydome. Doug Anarchist Williams versus Alex Shane for the FWA Heavyweight Championship. 1-4 wins it all. And when Doug Williams leaves the Coventry Skydome, still the FWA champion, Nick, there are two things you can do about it. That's nothing and like it.
Fans, that's all we've got time for, not just this week, but for this season of FWA TV. However, don't worry, we'll be here next week with a special look ahead to British Uprising 3. As always, I've been your host, John Atkins, and until next time, I'll see you ringside.